high. Say, why do you suppose the water comes out farther at the bottom of the can and not so far at the top of the can? I wonder.
Now, boys and girls, it's time to wonder. Here's the show that makes wondering fun. Uncle Wonder's Workshop. And here he is, Uncle Wonder.
Water sure is fun to wonder about, isn't it? So many things that water can really do for us, and so much fun that we can have with water. Oh, boy, and wet, too. Say, I'll tell you what let's do. Let's stop the water from coming into the can, and we'll see what happens, shall we? Oh, here we go with it. Now, the water still comes out of the bottom farther, doesn't it? Right here. Well, it pushes out more than at the top. Now, this pushing out is called pressure. And water has pressure because it has weight. Now, how do we know that water has weight? Well, have you ever carried a pail of water? Well, it sure does weigh a lot when it's full, doesn't it? See, I know what. Let's make an experiment to show that water does have weight. Now, if you've been to the store with Mother, then you have seen one of these. You know what that is, don't you? Why, of course, it's a scale. And with a scale, we can see how much things weigh. See, you're seeing Uncle Wonder's hand weighing approximately 4 pounds. See? Like that. Now, let's see. Got something here to show you. We'll use this pail. Now, this is an empty pail. Now, when I put this empty pail on the scale, let's see where the needle goes, shall we? Now, why, look. See, it's off, and then we put it on. There it is, see, and it just moved just a little bit from the 0 to just about 1 pound. But now, let's do something else. Let's take the pail, and we'll put some water in it. Want to do that? All right, let's do this. Ready? All right, now we'll fill it with water. Say, I know what we could do while we're waiting for the pail to fill. We could see how our little water wheel works. Want to try that one again? Okay, let's see. I hope you have yours at home and are having a lot of fun with it. But I hope, too, that you're finding out just what a water wheel can do for us. Gee, this one was going so fast that it spun right off of our toothpick. Ooh, look at it go now. And you can have a lot of fun with it, not only as a toy, but it's good for wondering. Why, of course. Well, that ought to be about enough water. Now, we'll put the water wheel aside. We'll set it right there for the time being. Now, oh, what a difference. Let's see what happens now when we put the pail of water on the scale. Ready? Well, here it goes. Oh, look at the needle now. Look there. See, the water and the pail together weigh so much. Now, remember, it started way up here, our needle, and went way around here. Now, once again, I'll lift it off the scale. Now, see, it's off. Way up by 0. Now watch what happens. All the way around to just a little past 14 pounds. Remember, it went all the way from 1 all the way around. So water does have weight. A lot of water must, well, it must weigh a lot too. And it must be very, very heavy. Now the weight is called pressure because the water presses on the inside of the pail. Not just down, but down and to the sides, too. Pushes on the sides of the pail, too. Now, water pressure is what it's called. And because water comes out the bottom hole, remember, in our can, much farther. See here? See how it does there? The deeper the water, the more pressure or pushing we have on the can. Now, the water wants to get out of the can. But since it can't, all it can do is push with water pressure. Now, it pushes more on the bottom of the can because there is more water on top pushing down on the water on the bottom. Now, let's see. We'll put it in, we'll get some more water in it. Now, see? All this water in here pushes down on the water on the bottom. The water pushes it out the hole farther. Now, the top hole doesn't have much water pushing down on it, does it? Why, no. There's only about, well, let me get some water in the can. Let's see. You see, there's just about this much right here. So the water pressure is not as strong near the top of the water, and the water is not pushed out the hole very far. Now, let's see what we found out about it, shall we? Well, first, we found out that water has weight. Water has weight. We saw that on the scale, didn't we? When we filled the pail with water. See, I know what let's do. Let's do that again. Maybe there's something we've forgotten, shall we? I'll just take the water, and since I'm going to clean the aquarium here anyway, I'll just put the water in here. Now, doing it once again, remember, the pail is empty. Let's see how much it weighs on our scale. There it is. See? Our needle moved just about to the 1. Now, let's take our pail and put some water in it, shall we? Okay, and we'll see how much it can weigh for us. Water, say, I know what we can do this time. While we're waiting for it to fill, we could pretend that it's a waterfall. And look, I have our water wheel here with our great big block tied to the end of it. Now, do you remember how it all works? Well, remember, as the moving water turns the water wheel, it turns the toothpick, which wraps the thread around the toothpick, picking up our block of wood. See, it's way up near the top now. You can have a lot of fun with that. Have you tried it? Well, if you haven't, I hope you will soon. Now, there we are. I think we have just about enough water in there now. All right, now let's take this over to the scale. Oh, there is a difference. I should tell you so. There we are. On the scale it goes. And look. Wow. All the way to 15 that time. Way around. See? I'll lift it up. Now it's way back to 0 again. Setting it down. All the way around it goes. Now, you see the difference? When it was empty, it only went to about number 1 up here. But when we put water in it, way around it went. Now, what else did we find out? Well, let's see. We found out that water has pressure or push. And the deeper you go down into the water, the more water pressure or pushing there is. Now, remember, water pushes in all directions. It pushes up, down, and to the sides. See, I have an idea. Why don't you try this experiment at home? I think you might have some fun with it, and you can get Dad to punch the holes in the can for you, and then you can really get a good idea of just what's going on. And you can put the water into the can just as I have, and then you'll see that water has pressure, and more pressure near the bottom than near the top. Say, would you like to see an experiment to show water pushes in all directions, down, up, and to the sides? Well, I have something here that we can show that with. We'll use our aquarium again, and, oh, here it is. We'll use this. See what I have here? I have here a milk bottle, and we have a cap on our milk bottle. And the top, of course, is closed good and tight. Now, if I push the bottle down into the aquarium filled with water, what do you think will happen? Well, let's see. We'll make another experiment just like the scientists. Here we go. Well, see? The water pushes our bottle right back to the top again. Now watch, I'll show you that again. I'll push it down to the bottom, and I'll just put one little finger on it. See, we're holding it down now. But watch what happens when I take my finger away from the bottle. Up it came. So we see that water pushes up, down, and to the sides, too. Now, we saw that with a can with the hose. Do you remember that? Boy, there sure must be a lot of water pressure down in the bottom of a deep lake or a big river because they're so deep. Say, I know something. Have you ever seen a dam? Well, let's see, they're high. They have great big high walls, which stop or slow down the water and make electricity for us. Now remember, we see how the walls of the dam are. There's the people standing on top of our dam. Now the water is in the back. See there? There's the great big body of water. And that water is coming in through that long pipe that you see there, rushing down and pushing against the turbines, which create electricity sending up the wires, out across the high power lines, and into our homes to make light. See? Now the walls of a dam must be very strong to hold back a deep river, I'll bet. Say, suppose we were able to go down to the bottom of the dam. What do you think we would see? Well, let's pretend that we can cut our dam right down the middle, just like this. Just cut the dam right down the middle. There we are. Now, this is what it would look like. Now, you see, you're looking now at the side of the dam. And look there, see, there's our people way up on top of the dam, just like before. There's the big body of water, and you can see some little fish swimming around over there, see? Now, see how much thicker and heavier the wall of the dam has to be on the bottom? Well, why is it made that way? Do you remember? Why, sure, because there's more water pressure on the bottom than on the top. The water pushes more on the bottom than it does up near the top. Now look how much thicker and stronger the wall of the dam has to be on the bottom than on the top to hold back the water. Now the next time you see a real dam or a picture of one, why, I hope that you'll remember that so that you can explain it possibly to Mother or to Dad while you're visiting, all right? Well, let's see now. There's our aquarium with our bottle floating on top of it. But one thing, when you realize why the dams are built that way, then you'll know why it takes so long to build them. Why, of course. So you see, you're finding out some more about it. Do you notice anything different? You see our milk bottle floating right here? See how it floats right there in the water? It's just almost like a little boat, isn't it? Just floating, cruising back and forth. See, just like that. And that starts me to wondering about something. It really does. For instance, why does the milk bottle with the cap right here, remember, why does it float and something like, well, like this rock, why does it sink? Boom, way down to the bottom. Well, that's sort of a new mystery for us to find out about, isn't it? Why does the milk bottle float and the rock sink to the bottom? Like that.
This is National Educational Television.